We'll be going over IRS Notice CP06, supporting documentation requested. So this notice, you might receive it specifically if the IRS has additional questions about either yourself or someone that you claimed on your tax return having appropriate health care coverage. So this has to do with the premium tax credit. So if you claimed it and you took an advance payment, you may need to provide additional paperwork to the IRS to ensure that you received what you were entitled to and that the IRS is okay with the paperwork as it's been presented. So let's go ahead and start with the top right-hand corner as we usually do with these notices. You'll see the notice number CP06. The tax year 2018, the notice date, which is February 6th of the following year. You'll see your social security number fields, caller ID if you need to identify yourself, and a phone number that you would contact the IRS with. And then over to the left, you'll see the taxpayer name and address fields. So I'm going to take a brief pause right here and kind of outline a couple of things that might be important. So specifically, I always recommend that you pay attention to the notice date, because if there's action requested from the IRS, by the IRS, if they're requesting action from you, then there may be a chance that that deadline, the due date, or whatever is tied to that notice date. And if you look closer to the bottom of the form, you can actually see the instructions in bold. Mail or fax us your completed documentation within 30 days of the date of this notice. So, one, it's important to keep note of the notice date, because you basically have until, in this case, March 7th or whatever 30 days from February happen to be in the year 2019 to adhere to that deadline. But the second thing that I want to point out is that sometimes taxpayers might change their address, particularly after filing a tax return, and the IRS sends the notice to the wrong address. So a couple of things here. One, if you do have IRS correspondence floating around and your social security number happens to be in that, that's not a good thing if you're not receiving that mail directly. So you never know what may happen if someone else is handling your mail. But then two, even if you eventually receive the notice, just the additional time that it's going to take for your mail to forward to you or to catch up to you may reduce the amount of time that you have to respond to the notice. So you should always keep your address up to date. If you recently filed your tax return with your updated information, then that should change your tax record. If you moved after filing your tax return, then you should file IRS Form 8822, which is the change of address form. So we'll put links in the show notes to the resources about that tax form. So let's take a closer look at this. We'll go to the left-hand side. Our records show that you or someone for whom you claimed a personal exemption was enrolled in the healthcare coverage through the ACA marketplace. So our records also show that advance payments of the premium tax credit were paid directly to the insurance provider. So whenever the advance premium tax credit is either paid on your behalf or someone's behalf within your house, you have to file IRS Form 8962 to reconcile this. So if you're expecting a tax refund and you did not file IRS Form 8962, the IRS is going to expect you to do so. So this is what you need to do. Complete IRS Form 8962, provide copies of either IRS Form 1095A, 1095B, or 1095C as appropriate. These are all documents that are issued either through the workplace or from your employer that certify you met the criteria for having the requisite health care throughout the year. So if another taxpayer reconciled either all or part of the premium tax credit paid for this policy on another tax return, you would need to complete Part 4 of your Form 8962 and then provide the information that indicates your shared policy allocation. So you can do this. This might happen with, let's say, either divorced couples or unmarried couples that are coordinating healthcare benefits for children that they're co-parenting. That might be the most common example. Or maybe siblings that are taking turns caring for a parent, things of that nature. So you would need to show that you've allocated your shared policy appropriately. There should be an enclosed version of IRS Form 14950, which is the premium tax credit verification, and you can refer to that for additional details. So again, you can mail or fax the IRS your documentation within 30 days. If you can't do that, then you should call the IRS at the listed number. So again, the IRS usually spells out what happens if they don't hear from you. In layman's terms, they just proceed as if their assumption was correct. So they'll send you an audit report. It shows you the proposed changes, which might include any additional taxes plus penalties and interest. So, and then from there, the IRS will probably start the collections process with the next notice. So the next steps look like, hey, if you send us the information, we'll take up to 30 days to review it. If that information supports your tax return, then we'll send you a refund and a letter that closes your audit. This technically, I guess, is considered an audit. If the information doesn't support your tax return, then we'll send you an audit report that shows the changes, pretty much just like the IRS spelled out previously up here. So that you can send your response via regular mail, courier mail, priority or express services. If you send correspondence that requires a signature upon delivery, that may delay your processing, so allow time for that to take place. And again, instructions on how to mail or fax your documentation. If you want to fax it, there is a fax number provided. And then it also says, please include a copy of the notice itself with all of your documentation, because that's going to tie your documentation to the notice. So there's links to additional resources. We will navigate to this page in just a moment. You can review the enclosed documents. These publications are not actually books. They're most likely pamphlets as short as 1 to 2 pages. So don't be intimidated by that. Additional resources such as the Taxpayer Advocate Service, low-income taxpayer clinics. Page 3 is blank, and then page 4 is basically a stub that you can detach and return to the IRS when you send all of your correspondence back. So let's go back up here and just navigate to the IRS page that discusses this. So again, more information about IRS Form 14950, 8962. We'll put links into the show notes to the articles and the videos that we've created about some of these forms. You can go to the IRS healthcare.gov website for more information about how the tax credits work. You can also upload your documents to the IRS website. You can use this exam reply where it'll walk you through, how this works. So you would upload your correspondence. You should always upload copies and save copies, but you can, walk through the tax year, your Social Security office, your IRS office, to get that information. So let's navigate back to the original notice. I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we had to discuss. So if you If you need more information, particularly about the premium tax credit, we'll put links in the show notes to that, both the video and an article that we've created. So if you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. If you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions or comments, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see discussed in an upcoming video, please hit me up in the comments section. Thank you very much and have a great day.